are reaching out to you with an exclusive episode for In Conversation brought to you by Daily Mirror. And today, I have with me two very important individuals. But before we dive into that, I would like to tell you, with the ray of light and inspiration for 2021, I think it's high time that we overcome our barriers and practice mindfulness, practice conciliation, and move forward as a community that is united throughout. So to talk more about it and so many other themes, today I have with me the head monk of Blue Lotus Temple in Chicago, Venerable Bhante Sujatha. And I also have with me the face and the name behind the Sanatha Suwaya Foundation right here in Sri Lanka, doing a tremendous service in terms of promoting wellness, meditation, mindfulness, and so many other philosophical essentials that we need in terms of thriving society. I have with me Michael Fronczak.
Good morning.
Good morning. And it is with honor we have the both of you for this program. And to open the discussion, I would like to know from Venerable Bhante, the work that you have been pursuing in terms of social service and what Sanatha Suwaya is all about.
Our slogan of the Sanatha Suwaya, mind-body balance. So that's the slogan. So when I'm working in the United States, around the country over there, so many people want to help for my charities. So then I was doing my charities in a very personal, personal level, and I didn't have that many people when I come to Sri Lanka. So I gather a group of people and then I just do my activities. So when Michael was engaged with my social work, I asked Michael, let's do something here in Sri Lanka. Then he was so interested. Then we were thinking we need the base to do our charities. So that's the the way Sanatha Suwaya came to the reality.
Yes,
so.
And Michael, I would like to know, I was looking around the premises and you have wonderful things going on here, a variety of things about, pertaining to recreation, reading, and, wide spatial spaces. It just really calms you down. It's absolutely beautiful. So I would like to know what programs that you're conducting right here under this roof. And pretty much under the sky.
Yeah, under the sky. So thank you so much for having us and your very kind introduction. What we're trying to do here, as Bhante said, is to promote a balance between mental health and wellness and physical health and wellness. Sometimes people become entirely devoted to their body, and we're working really hard to look beautiful and be healthy and be very visually appealing, and sometimes not dedicating enough to our spiritual development or our psychological wellness. Sometimes people become entirely devoted to maybe a spiritual practice and maybe isolate from the world and become perhaps a little bit distant, maybe a little cold. And so the reason we say Center for Mind and Body Balance is so that we're able to promote exercises that are good for us physically and also mentally. So for example, we have yoga programs, we're doing personal training and physical fitness. Those help sustain the body, which can bring energy to our meditation practices. And we bring in teachers from different backgrounds. We teach meditation, mindfulness. We're doing youth programs, all kinds of different activities to try and engage people. We say that we're not pushing one particular philosophy or encouraging that somebody follow a strict regimen, but that they follow their own path, and this is a safe haven to practice it.
Definitely. And so, I would like to ask you, you have pursued on a global journey in terms of talking to people, empowering them in a spiritual way. And also the Blue Lotus temple itself is very significant given that it is sharing its property with the church.
Right.
And this is definitely a symbolic expression of how conciliation should work. And currently Sri Lanka is also going through a lot of challenges in terms of accepting those who have different opinions, and there's certain clashes among social segments. So as someone who has practiced conciliation and who is practicing conciliation on a daily basis, what can you tell and what can we do to promote overcome this issue pertaining to social divisions? It's socio-economic, religious, cultural. It happens on so many levels, so many domains. What's your take on that?
Actually, Hirushi, first I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to go out of Sri Lanka. And if I stay in Sri Lanka all my life, I don't think where I'm thinking now. I'm not thinking exactly the way I'm thinking now. So now being 30 years out of Sri Lanka, I totally changed where I'm thinking about life and the society and the religion and the culture. So when I go to Chicago first time, so I was teaching meditation 9 years at that Unitarian Universalist church. So they were so kind to me. They didn't push me to convert to their religion. So they asked me to teach mindfulness. I was teaching mindfulness 9 years. 9 years later, they offered, we are going to sell this church. How about you take it? So then, however, my people who practice with me, they were so generous, and they helped me to get that church. So the long story short, what I did right after I get that building, I was thinking, wow, this is so amazing to me. Last 9 years, I used to live with Jesus. So then people were thinking right after I get the building, I take it down and all their historical images and things. But I thought if I do that, I'm so disrespecting to the Buddha and his teaching. So then I was thinking the best thing I can do respecting to the Buddha, keep the Jesus exactly the way it is. Now we have 14 feet tall Jesus, then we have 10 feet tall Buddha. Right?
Side by side.
Yeah, side by side. Then Buddha and Jesus practicing together, because I can see in the world and because of the religions, people are separated. So I think, as a monk, I'm a single person. I broke that tradition. So then I was teaching to people under one roof. No matter who we are, we can practice mindfulness, we can practice compassion, we can practice loving kindness. We don't have barriers for that. It doesn't matter whoever come to the Blue Lotus temple now is a church. If they want to practice with Jesus, they have opportunity. If they want to practice with Buddha, they have opportunity. If they want to practice both of them, they have opportunity. So what I'm trying to teach them, practice mindfulness without religious barriers. So actually my work in the United States is perfectly work. That means that is the teaching of the Buddha. That's what he was encouraging to people to do. And respect your own path, own tradition, own religion. Then same time you can practice mindfulness.
Definitely.
It doesn't matter who you are.
And I think this pandemic itself taught us that at the end of the day, our fate is something that depends on our behaviors or choices, not essentially what religion we belong to or what opinions we have. So I think I assume this pandemic has also really opened our eyes on how bizarre sometimes it is to compartmentalize ourselves, put ourselves into certain boxes and think we're separate from the rest.
Right.
What's your take on that? How can the pandemic really take it up a notch and just help people evolve spiritually?
Right. Because I'm thinking, I never experienced this kind of situation in my whole life. So this is the first time, and also maybe this is the last for my lifetime. So before the pandemic, I was thinking, oh my God, my life is perfect and everything is wonderful. I am traveling all over the world, and almost 200 days I'm traveling and always at the airport, and very exciting life I had. Middle of nowhere last year, everything stopped. I think January and February I traveled. After that, until I come to Sri Lanka, I didn't travel at all. Right? So then I was thinking, first thing I realized, Hirushi, the great teaching of the Buddha, everything is subject to change, which is impermanence. After I see the impermanence, after I accept in that teaching, it doesn't matter what is happening in the world. It doesn't matter religion, it doesn't matter my country, it doesn't matter what I am believing. Always is matter what I am practicing. That's what I took into my life because of this pandemic. So then I realized, moment to moment, we are experiencing this in our lives, but we don't see it because we are distracted, we are busy in our social life, then we don't see the reality. So this pandemic is so eye-opening to me. So actually, now I am practicing as a monk last 40 years. Now I am thinking this last 9-10 months is my monk life, because everything changed. That's what I am telling people. Whatever you have, material, people, or whatever you are believing, those things doesn't matter. If you are practicing mindfulness, be awake to this situation, this impermanence. So then people are thinking when we are practicing, when we are understanding the nature of life, which is impermanence, we cannot enjoy life. I don't agree with that. Way I feel, now I am 53, I am always enjoying my life. I am not like a traditional Buddhist monk, I am not serious, but I am so into practice. Now I understand the Dhamma, I understand the impermanence, I understand the mindfulness. So I know life will change any second, any minute. So let's have fun then.
Definitely.
Right?
It's a state of mind.
Right, state of mind. So.
To you, Michael, what does mindfulness mean to you? With your personal experiences, how far you've come, how do you see mindfulness? Is it something that the youngsters like to call living in the moment?
Well, even one of the metaphors I use or comparison is the zone. You hear about the zone a lot. Athletes, where they get into the zone where everything falls away and we're totally engaged, right? In the present moment, we don't have to bring our judgment. We only need to bring our connection to the experience. This I was thinking as Bhante was speaking about the pandemic, what it's done is it has shown us as human beings we're existing in that way. There's no religion that's dividing us. The virus is indiscriminate, right? So regardless of your religion or your belief system or how you feel about vaccines, nothing matters. It's indiscriminate, and that equalizing factor is one of the things that mindfulness can teach us. When we, as human beings, focus so strongly on the things that divide us, whether they be dividing us from each other as human beings or even separating us from the environment or the universe itself, believing that I'm separate from everything. Mindfulness helps to connect us back to those things. And then all the other things flow from that. We find compassion for ourselves that opens our compassion up to others, and so many other ways. So what mindfulness means to me is being able to connect to the present moment as it is without judgment, and learning to let our barriers down, letting go of the things that divide us, and finding connection. And the pandemic has given us an opportunity to see how our practice is for that.
Definitely.
It's a very, yeah.
And I think with this new year, I mean, days have passed from the beginning, of course, but it's still a fresh year, and there's plenty of time and space for us to adjust our behaviors and move forward. So I would like to kindly invite Swami Nuhansa and Michael to maybe talk about how we can actually practice mindfulness, essentially while moving with the world, because at the end of the day, everyone has goals, everyone has passions, everyone has day-to-day, things they have to kind of check in their boxes. So maybe we might not have the time to, get into a comfortable position, get into a calm, quiet place and go into that posture and do it, but is it possible to practice mindfulness while moving on with the day-to-day life?
So it's a good question, Hirushi. So when we are practicing mindfulness, it's a very common word we call the bhavana or meditation. So when we think of the meditation or bhavana, people are always thinking about the meditation center, like a forest, the hermitage or temple, or in front of the Buddha image, beautiful meditation hall, cushion. That's what people are always thinking about. So when we are practicing meditation, it is very important to do sitting meditation. It's not the time, quality, how you are doing it. So what I'm suggesting now for the modern world, I call the red light meditation. Every red light we can breathe in and breathe out, because people don't have time. So eating meditation, walking meditation, whatever activity we can do, we do in life.
Sneezing meditation.
Yes, we can
Sneezing
do meditation, right? But people are believing meditation for mindfulness practice, we have to sit on the cushion, close our eyes. I agree with that, but I know so many people doing it many years, including monks. When they go out after that, I don't see that practice in their the personal lives. So what I'm suggesting, as long as you want to sit, please do it, but how you are taking this message to everyday life, your workplace. So when we are talking about the mindfulness, there are three things we have to consider. First thing is paying attention. Paying attention to what? Paying attention to our senses, our five senses, right? Because of the five senses, all the problems come to us. So that means paying attention, we are observing in how we see things, how they hear things, right? Paying attention to our senses. You know, I can give another whole talk about it. And so the second one, live in the present moment, understanding your past and understanding your future, and live in present moment, do whatever you are doing now. So that means if you want to live in the present moment, you have to understand your past and the future. Without that, you cannot live in the present moment. The third one is non-judgmental. We always making stories about ourselves and other people. So I am always believing with now I am looking at you, what I am doing, I am making my judgment. Looking at me, listening to me, you are doing the judgment. But we all can make the judgment, which is all right, but no condemnation. So that is mindfulness. So after you get these three things into our mind, then you can do short sitting meditation every morning or evening. Then 24 hours you can do this. When you are driving the car, you can do it. Think, for example, somebody cut you off while you are driving. No need to be angry about it. Now think about maybe this person driving to the hospital. So change our perspective. That means your mindfulness. Somebody honking at you. So then you can change your perspective. Maybe accidentally somebody bump into the honk.
Yeah.
So right after you change your perspective about the situation, mindfulness exists. That's how I am practicing mindfulness.
Okay. Thank you so much, Swami Mahansa, for those tips. And with that also we are gradually moving towards the end of the conversation. Thank you so much. Finally, I would like to ask Michael how we have an audience watching us, then they would like to get to know the amazing work you do and also be engaged with you and interact with you and the organization, the foundation, to definitely take things forward. So how can they get in touch with Sanatha Suwaya Foundation?
Thank you for asking. So our Sanatha Suwaya is located in Kandy, and people want to find out about the programs that we're doing. They can find out the charitable work. They can see our calendar of events, programs that they can join, exercises at www.sanathasuwaya.org. You can also search meditation centers in Kandy. Sanatha Suwaya might be hard to spell. And we're of course on Facebook, and we're on Instagram, and we're on all the social media channels as much as we can be. So we hope to hear from you. Please do write, encourage your audience.
It's definitely a very soothing atmosphere. As you can see, Muruku is already having the time of her
life.
Yeah,
Muruku, she's charging her solar batteries. She's solar powered, so that's why she's charging her batteries right now.
Yes, with that, I would like to convey my gratitude to Venerable Bhante Sujatha. Thank you so much, Swami Mahansa, for being a part of my show, and thank you so much, Michael, for being. And also, I would like to invite everyone to stay tuned on Lankadeep as well, as we bring another really, I would say, a really nice Sinhala edition to the program as well. So I would like to make awareness on that as well. So with that, I thank everyone who is joining with us. It is a wrap for this edition of In Conversation, brought to you by Daily Mirror.
Thank you.